Okay, we have Kenny here. Kenny, how are you? Luke, how are you? I think I'm just seeing you on the screen. Okay. All right. So let's start here. I mean, any other person that joins later would introduce themselves as time permits. So my name is Abiodun Oke, and I'm the founder of Serial Project Services. Also the founder of the Supply Chain Industry Network, which is the network of foreign trained professionals in Canada who are specifically in the operations management, supply chain, project management profession. And we provide resources for mentoring, networking, and job search towards helping our colleagues to integrate successfully here in Canada. So our philosophy really is we are uh, because you are, right? Basically, we call it the Ubuntu philosophy. We want to help um, each one of our colleagues to integrate successfully by providing insights, sharing with them our experiences. We realize that a lot of us come in and we do not really have that social network to support us. Even sometimes when we have the social network, if it is not the right type of people whom you are really looking up to, who are already on the journey that you're trying to pursue, this tendency is there for you to be given the wrong advice, which might delay your successful integration, especially in the desired career. So this is one of the reasons why we had actually set up this group. We started as a WhatsApp, so we're still on WhatsApp for sure. And this year we were able to actually register as a non-profit in Canada. So we're making progress, even though it's little progress. And one of the reasons why we had to do this is so we can get the support of the industry to help us achieve even much more beyond what we are doing currently. We would like a situation where we want them to support us with maybe some type of industry connection or engaging such that we'll be able to support our colleagues. So for successful integration as usual. So this is some of the things that we do. We have people across Canada. Currently, we stand at around 1,000 professionals. On the WhatsApp, we have about 380 people on the WhatsApp, but on the main platform, we have around 1,000 people on the main platform. And we have people across, right from the Atlantic Canada to British Columbia. We have people in all the spaces. And that is just a little bit of an introduction to the network. However, what I want us to do here, what we like to do to get the conversation going so that it's engaging here is we want to introduce ourselves. Then we also want to tell us what is one culture shock that you experience, in Canada. I haven't been in Canada. What is it culture shock that you experience in Canada? So I will start, just so the way I would normally introduce myself. I know I blabbed a little bit. So my name is Abiodun Oke, and I'm a supply chain management consultant. I actually I'm the founder of the Serial Project Services, where we provide training consulting, and we also support foreign trained professionals looking to integrate here in Canada. Part of what we do to help businesses is to help with the implementation of ERP tools, which is one of the tools used for business transformation and improvement. I also teach on the side as a supply chain project management instructor at the Red River College. So, well, in terms of my own culture shock here in Canada, I think it has to do with when you speak or speak to people and you think you're speaking English, and then the next thing you hear is "pardon me," meaning even though you thought you had a PhD in English, nobody could hear you, right? So this is one of my own cultural shock. I mean, there is a lot of it, but that's just one that I would like to share with you guys. So I think we will introduce ourselves in the order that we came in. Dara Simi, or Dara, like you said, you like to be called. Can you introduce yourself? And also tell us about your culture shock here in Canada. I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm just unmuting myself. Okay, hello guys. Dara Olubi, Dara Olubi. I'm a government officer with about 5 years experience from Nigeria and a little over 2 months experience here in Canada. So in my last experience in Nigeria, I worked with a contracting firm that we had to do a lot of supply of items, both for construction and for other companies, especially federal government companies in Nigeria. So had to do supply of furniture, supply of computers and ICT terms, supply of a lot of medical equipment to hospitals, supply of any item you can call it. Uh, um, I think my experience in that particular place of work gave me a wide range of, you know, expertise into different areas. Being able to purchase different items at different times. You know, this time I'm buying set of motorcycles. Another time we're buying, you know, different items, engineering items, constructing items, different items. So I believe that's given me a lot of knowledge in that area, being able to purchase any type of item at any time. And new to Canada, I've not been able to get my hands sort of in the procurement space, but I got a contract job for an admin role, of which I saw the opportunity to be able to use my purchasing opportunity there too. So I just offered my CEO and I was able to do that for 3 months. But right now the contract is over. So I will say my culture shock here will be, um, having a colleague in the office and she probably has to do an interview and right there in the office telling everybody, I have an interview in 1 hour. I don't need you to disturb me. And I'm like, ah, can you be, how can you be so open about the interview? Even speaking to our boss, excuse me, I have an interview and I need nobody to disturb me in an hour time. And I'm like, okay, can that happen? That was a culture shock for me.
Oh, that's an interesting one, yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks, Dara, for the introduction. And I think you are based in Ottawa, right? Because we talked
yeah,
earlier.
I'm
You
busy.
mentioned, and I also did mention I was based in Winnipeg. So if you also could add that to your introduction, that would be great. Let's go to Aki.
Hello, good morning all. My name is Akim Brimo. I'm a man of many parts, but I'll just say talk about myself, which relates to this forum. So I'm based here in Winnipeg, and I am a trained business analyst. I worked in Nigeria as a tax auditor for about 12 years with the Lagos State Internal Revenue. And while I was working, I ran a business, a successful business, which was a mobile bar service, and which means I had to do a lot of procurement, supply chain, moving from one end to the other, moving products from one position to the other, and ensuring they got there in good faith. And I'm hoping to transit into the role of a supply chain analyst, because I see it as something that it's interwoven with business analysis, because if you look at both of them, they all have to do with processes and process engineering. And yes, they are both. This is a career that I can, well, there can be a symbiosis between both skills, which I have acquired. I'm currently working as a banking advisor with RBC. It's a contract role, 6 months contract role, which will be ending in June, and I am hoping that before then I can get something better. And yeah, I'm based here in Winnipeg, and culture shock. In regards to culture shock, I lived in England. I've worked in England, so it wasn't really any form of culture shock here, because what I'd expected. So for now, there's no culture shock. Maybe with time I'll experience the culture shock. And I'm new to Canada also. I'm about 10 months in Canada. I'll be a year in 2 months' time. Yeah, that's all to say for now. There's any
Awesome.
other
Yeah,
thing I'll add
nice
to
to
it.
hear more about you, Akin. I think Kaya did you, right? Emmanuel wants to go first.
Can I go first?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much. Um, my name is Luke, and
Look, we're not saying you. You're not on camera.
okay. Yeah, let me open one so you can see me well. Yeah. Okay, can you see me now?
Yeah, we can see you. You're looking handsome.
Oh, ah, poor guy. So my name is Luke, and at the moment I'm in the UK, so I'll be coming to Winnipeg, and I'm going to base in Steinbach. So by hopefully next month,
Welcome.
which I can't wait, which I can't wait to enter the country. And
Okay.
my experience, I'm a senior procurement specialist, and my experience generally, all my life, I've been in supply chain. I started my career from the store. From store back then, we do local purchasing and local purchasing from store. Then we started doing local purchasing from purchasing to e-procurement, and I have vast experience in doing e-procurement. Then I started with procurement with oil services firm. From there, I joined the IOC, joined the IOC. So I work with Total. From there. Total, I moved as a procurement officer. Then I moved to West African Gas, where I joined them as a procurement specialist. As a procurement specialist. From there, I moved to be a senior procurement specialist, covering so many regions from Nigeria, Benin Republic, Togo, and Ghana. So basically, I deal with vendors, and I engage vendors and for all the procurement, and for both services and, and purchases, buying. So then, with my experience in sourcing, when I was with procurement, when I was with oil services firm, we do sourcing, with my experience in sourcing. Then when I'm now with the IOC, I am now dealing with the oil services firm,
Okay.
So uh, that experience really helped me to really excel in when I was the IOC. So I was able to like understand what they need, understand the problem they are facing, understand the challenges they face during clearing. The problem of supply chain is usually delay in delivery. I understand what they are facing when getting their equipment, I mean the material before they will get those items delivered to the end user. All those with my experience have that helped me to really be patient with suppliers when in terms of delivery. So, which I know because supplier most time when they say we're on our way, it can take 1 month, but they are still on their way. Probably, probably, maybe the items are not even been shipped. Maybe there are different things that happen along the line, you know, shipment, maybe they've not made payment, they've not cleared, they have issue at the port, but they tell you we are on our way. So being able to manage supplier, not to go out of business, being able to manage supplier to understand what they are facing, help me to really, you know, succeed in this procurement job. And it has been part of me. I love procurement so much. I love negotiation. I love even if you offer me for free, I will still negotiate.
Mm.
Free thing, I negotiate for free. I negotiate free. So that is as worse as that. But anyway, it's just part of the love that I have for supply chain. But when I come across this your forum, this your forum, and I really so I'm really so pleased, and I'm very very happy to be part of the program, part of the family, part of all with all my heart. I really want. I know um, with this association or with this forum, I know sky is the limit in supply chain in, I mean, in Canada. And part of what I have really done to really for me to come across this forum was I try to I go on LinkedIn, check supply chain, I mean procurement um, guys in supply chain, I mean in Canada, also come Winnipeg. I saw a lot of people. I come across this website. I joined the website. I tried to move everywhere. I can see that Nigerians are really doing well in supply chain in Canada. That alone gave me that joy, gave me joy and peace of mind to say, yes, Canada, here I come.
When are you going to land?
Um, like second week of May.
May. Okay, yeah. It's here already. I mean, you're almost here.
Yeah, second week.
Awesome.
I have my house already. I've paid for the accommodation, everything.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome, Luke. Yeah. So do you have MSIPs?
No,
No, okay.
no,
But you've been in the UK for quite a while, right?
yes. No,
Oh,
no, I came into you last year. It's
oh,
1 year now. Yes,
okay.
1 year now. So in Nigeria, I have so many certifications in Nigeria, if not all the certifications in Nigeria.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah, yes.
Nice to meet you, Luke.
I tried to do this supply chain Canada. When I tried to go into it, then I saw the amount, I saw the process of being to be able to acquire that diploma, so that when I'm there, I know that I have the certification, I have the
Yeah.
qualification to the market.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the certifications maybe in some other sessions. Yeah, because that's also another long topic here when it comes to certification. So let's move to the next person here. Would that be Ayodeji? You're on mute.
Yep. Good morning, everybody. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yes. My name is Ayodeji Oloruntoba. I've majorly been involved in sales and supply chain for 10 years combined. In Nigeria, I started as a salesperson, then I grew into business development lead for an organization, and right there, business development, I do all sort of things, vendor management, contract management, supplier management, and all that. And I started getting involved in supply chain activities. I'm a member of Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply, UK. I took some courses, and 2019, I started my business, which is still along the line of purchasing. I bring in turf into Nigeria. I distribute. We do some stadium, artificial turf pitches and all that. So I've been involved in supply chain for some years now. I came into Canada October last year, and I presently work with Canadian Tire as a sales advisor, automotive parts. I'm looking for experience or opportunities in supply chain as well. My culture shock in Canada would be, people everyone talk fast, especially when they greet you. Hey, good, oh, hey, good, good, And majorly because I work in automotive parts, I interact with a lot of customers. And one of the things I noticed was the first time I said, "Oh, what kind of car do you drive?" Because we have a computer, a CRM tool that you type in the year, the make, and model of the car. And what kind of car do you do? It's a truck. It's not a car. I'm like, in Nigeria, everything is a car now. But so I'm getting to know more about the culture. So that's me basically. Thank you so much.
Yeah, nice to have you here, Ayodeji. So Ayo and Luke, put your LinkedIn in the chat box, and that will help us to connect with you and the other guys to connect with you as well. One of the things you will always want to do here in Canada is to continuously build your network, because that's really what exposes you or that connects you with opportunities or information about opportunities. So I'll highly encourage that you do, and not only just to connect, actually reach out after the session, to know more about those that you've been able to connect with, because that helps to nurture the relationship, and then people can really understand what your needs are, and then maybe if there are things that we can support with. So one thing I like to emphasize here is people think, okay, when I come to Canada, I need a job, I'm still trying to integrate. They don't consider themselves as somebody who also has something to offer in terms of adding value to others, because they thought they're still looking for a job. And I think this is one of those situations that we need to kind of have a different line of thought going forward. That regardless of that you are a newcomer in Canada, it doesn't mean that you don't have something to offer. You do have something to offer, and at any point in time, always be looking for where you can offer value, because that's really what and helps you to connect opportunities within the industry. So without much ado, Emmanuel, can you go for it? And I think after Emmanuel, we still have Kenny, right? So Kenny is not able to talk, but I think I've asked him to type in the chat box. So Emmanuel, I think you'll be the last person before we look at the supply chain industry network platform.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Biodun. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, fellow participants here. It's a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Biodun. Okay. Actually, you totally look different from what you have on your profile picture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I ought to have, been part of this meeting since I came in. I came in into Canada last year, April 8th, precisely. That's an Easter Monday. And I think I joined the network a week after. I joined the network a week after, and I have been getting emails, for the newcomers onboarding, but I was really determined that I was going to join today. So this onboarding thing for me, it's been like a long time coming. Yes, I landed in Ontario, but presently I'm in New Brunswick Mountain. I'm a student. I'm studying supply chain and logistics
Oh, cool.
right now at Eastern College. I'll be done by August. I started the program last year, June. So I had to come to New Brunswick with my family, my wife and my son. Back from Nigeria, my primary background is in pharmacy. I study pharmacy, and I've practiced pharmacy in various areas, from administrative pharmacy to retail to wholesale. But the last position I had was I was an wholesale coordinator for a pharmaceutical company that does wholesale and distribution before I came to Canada. So I was in that role for about 2 years. So basically what I did was procurement, inventory, and basically manage business. Actually, that was what I did. And that really, got my interest in supply chain and inventory, and my enrollment in the diploma, which I'm currently running right now. Well, at the moment, I work part time as a cashier in a convenience store. Because I have other things I'm doing by the side, So, what else? Culture shock. Maybe probably the accent. A lot of people get, marveled by the accent. I remember when I nearly joined where I work presently part time. When I said some words and the lady keeps staring at me like, what are you saying? And I said to myself, like, am I not speaking English? Am I speaking Spanish? Or, So I think the accent is really, really, really like a lot of times they find it very difficult to comprehend what you're saying. Until probably you say it several times and probably with some demonstration before they really get what you're saying. Yes. So actually, the reason why I joined this network is actually for networking. I know on this platform I've been able to. I sent a message to there's someone here in New Brunswick in Nova Scotia. I can't remember his name. I think I sent him a message, but he hasn't replied. But I also met with someone here. He's in Elvin. He's in New St. John. His name is Mr. Tunde. Yeah, he's in St. John. He's in procurement with Elvin Oil and Gas. Yes. So really, that's really the main reason why I joined this platform for networking.
Oh, great! I'm glad you were able to connect with Tunde. Yeah, honestly speaking, there are a lot of people that are on our network that I don't even know or I haven't even connected with them. So the great thing about the supply jobs, I mean the platform we use, the Mighty Network, is that you can immediately see the people that are living in your area, and then you can also see those who are in the same profession or in the same role as you. Maybe they are into procurement or they are into distribution, so you'll be able to know those people. So thanks, Emmanuel. If you could also put in your LinkedIn, let's connect with you. I'm not sure even if I have connected with you myself, but I would
Yeah, I
like.
did that already in the
Oh, okay.
chat. I put it mine.
Sounds good. So today we're going to explore the socio-cultural nuances in Canada. However, before that, I will just do a quick introduction to the supply chain network. I know I've talked a bit about it, but it's better to actually show you a presentation which will provide the information in a more organized way that I've been blabbing all this time. So maybe this one will provide you with quick information that will be helpful for you. So share my screen here. You see my screen now? You guys see my screen? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you're on mute, so that's why I didn't know it was.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
great. So let me share, because I'm streaming. I'm also going to have to share this on. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay, I have to expand this. Okay. So I hope you can see this screen now. So supply chain industry network by Serial Project. So essentially, Serial Project has been funding this activity. So we'll call Serial Project a sponsor of this particular network. So I'll talk about mission and objectives here, and I think I talked about this. We are focused on empowering members for career and professional development in Canada through networking, mentoring, training, volunteering, and also providing information about industry trends, job opportunities, and emerging technologies within the Canadian industry. So, well, our mission here as an ecosystem of talent, projects, expertise, and tech resources is to empower professionals for career fulfillment, professional development, training, and internship opportunities. We provide this through the serial projects. And then for Supply Jobs Canada, or we call the Supply Chain Industry Network now, is to create a common weight of experience and expertise in the Canadian industry, empowered by top professionals in Canada through networking, mentoring, and training, while at the same time fostering diversity and inclusion. So this is what our membership profile looks like. You would notice, Ontario has the largest share of the distribution, and Alberta follows, and of course Manitoba. We have people in other areas, so I just categorize those as others because not a large number of people. However, we do have people across Canada, just as you heard from Emmanuel here. We have people in the St. John's, New Brunswick. We have people in Nova Scotia as well, who are actually very senior colleagues who are there. So in terms of the platforms, we use all of these platforms: WhatsApp, the Clubhouse, Slack. So if you go on Clubhouse, you'll see a lot of the recordings we've done there, in different areas, be it the mentor and the mock interviews, or we just have info sessions and a whole lot of other stuff. Mighty Network app, this is the one that I will show next. So the Mighty Network app, you guys are not familiar with, it's like a networking platform, just like LinkedIn. So every other member of the platform can actually share information, and they can connect or chat with each other. We also publish information about events over there. So we also have YouTube and also Zoom, which we were using currently. So here are some of the, like a snapshot of our activities: mock interviews, workshops, mentoring, job postings, which happens mostly nowadays on the WhatsApp. Study groups. We have study groups for different type of activities, like in terms of say for example procurement certification, or maybe for SAP certifications, or all of those things. Then of course networking. So here are some of our networking that we did in person. So this is quite some time now. Hopefully we're trying to do this again this year, but I will see how that works out. So this was in Calgary, this was in Winnipeg, and then this was actually we had this in Mississauga, and that was 2020, 2022. How time flies, eh? So yeah, some of the workshops we had in the past, and it's a breakdown of all of the things that we do here. Internship role. So these internship roles that I have here is specifically on the serial projects, but supporting some of the projects that we have done in the past. So, but all the same, we still need people for these roles, project coordinators, program coordinators, business analysts, procurement coordinator, marketing and sales intern. So some of these posts will also go up soon because the guys that we worked with in the last few months, we just do 3 months basically, because if we're not paying you, we don't want to hold you more than 3 months so that we don't run into legal issues, right? You don't want to be, having somebody work for you as an intern for too long if you are not paying them, right? So for these reasons, we have to re-advertise this. So we also have volunteering activities, program development, mentoring, coaching, and also event logistics and also procurement activities. Like the conference we had last year, which we're going to also have again this year. We actually had a procurement intern that helped with the procurement for all the events, even the booking of the flights for the speakers and the souvenirs and all of these things. So this procurement intern was one who helped with that. Then these are some of the partnerships that we have at the moment. So use Certify is a platform that we use for professional development in technology and of course project management as well. And ASCM, Association for Supply Chain, I'm sure you guys know them. So this is a global supply chain association. They are the ones behind APIX. If you've heard APIX before, so we are a training partner with them. We deliver their trainings in all of the different areas. Like I heard Aki mentioning something about exploring supply chain business analysis. So there are some courses that I actually recommend anybody who is pursuing supply chain business analysis to take. For example, the supply chain foundation. Supply chain foundation actually is one that covers supply chain end to end. For somebody who is not really educated previously in supply chain, but they are working in supply chain and I would like to, expand their knowledge on what supply chain involves. So this is the one I would normally recommend for somebody who is, approaching supply chain for the first time. It's a supply chain foundation course. Clearly speaking, is communication consultant. So the aspect of the things you guys have talked about, like the effective communication, public speaking. So they are helping with these aspects. And then Odoo is for small businesses. It's a technology that we also are a partner for. It's an ERP. So it covers business processes end to end, be it accounting, be it procurement, be it manufacturing, inventory management. So this is a software that covers all of these different. And this is also an area where for people who are business analysts that I could actually work with those who might be willing to volunteer to learn this, and then also to be able to do demonstrations for potential small businesses that are interested in implementing, this ERP or who are interested in digital transformation. So I'm gonna leave that. Here are some other things that some of the things we've been able to do. I mentioned this earlier, the partnership with ASCM internship. The supply chain school is a platform we're hoping to help with professional development because we realize that this is one of the major areas where we need, to grow. Even if you have done this career for 10 years, when you come to a new environment, there appears to be this need for you to continue to develop and grow. So we also had the Industry Connect conference last year. We're planning to also have it this year as well. So yeah, so here are some of the opportunities that we can say we're able to offer to those who are joining our group: Canadian work experience, through volunteering, internship opportunities, through serial project to work on some of our projects, referrals, and then also making an impact by empowering pop-up professionals and entrepreneurs. So this is just a short introduction. These are some of the volunteers that I helped with the conference last year, the Industry Connect conference. And this is the office that Serial Project actually run out of, but for most of the time, all our activities are online. However, we do work out of this office whenever we have to meet or we have an in-person training. So that is a short presentation there about um, the supply chain industry network. And stop my screen here. Okay, so what we really want to talk about today is the cultural nuances. However, I'm going to do this quickly just for the sake of those who are pretty new amongst us. I want to just do this bit of an introduction on the job search roadmap. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen here. So a second. Okay, I think I need to share my screen first before I. You see my screen now? Yep. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I think I did a little bit of an introduction about myself. So I just want to touch on the job search roadmap because every one of you, you're on a job search roadmap. You're searching for a job. You're trying to transition from one career to another. So all of this, it's a transformation journey, and I'm gonna talk quickly about what this entails, so that when those challenges start happening, you're not overwhelmed. You know where you are on this journey, and know, okay, certainly what you should be doing to make a difference towards getting you closer to your goal, regardless of where you are on that journey. So the newcomer's journey looks like this in Canada, okay, and it all depends on how long you have been on this journey. You'll have maybe gotten rejected a couple of times, even ghosted, by recruiters because they feel like maybe you're not the right, candidate. And well, to some point where, if it takes for too long, for you to really get, a result or to transition successfully, people get into what I call the job search depression. It's not a clinical depression because I'm not a doctor, but what I'm just saying is that there are some things that start happening. You realize that, okay, this is what is going on. If you see a job advert and you know you actually qualify for this role, you're very sure, but you decided not to apply to it because you think you have been there already, you've done all that you should do to get a job, but you're not getting any response, and you feel like you're not even going to bother about applying to this job. Yeah, you are in a job search depression, and that's one sign that you know you're in a job search depression. And what I would like to let people know is that because you have been doing things the wrong way, and not your fault, for most of the time, the way we are taught about job search in school is really terrible. I being in business, I know that that is not the way it works. A lot of people think it's about writing up this paperwork and submitting random resumes, and then this magic, you're expecting this magic to happen that you be called for interview. A lot of the time is not the case because of several things that I will talk about quickly. So the contingent job search, what I call this, is what a lot of job seekers are doing, and it's just the shortest course to loss of self-esteem for the most part, which eventually leads to job search depression. So here are what I would really you know say is happening on a psychological level. Is that what I will call it? To a lot of job seekers in Canada. So here you've made a decision that you are going to leave whatever you're doing in your home country and you come to Canada, right? So you made a decision which actually exposes you to some things that you have not really experienced in a long time. A lot of people will tell me, look, I've never even applied to any job since my first job, in my home country. And here I am in Canada. I have to be writing resumes and I don't even know how to go about it. Yeah, so you have chosen a challenge, so to speak. And one of the things you did when you chose this challenge is that you also severed the social connections that you had already built over the years. So now when you come to Canada, you have to build those social connections right from the scratch. And that's what we're doing right here. Right? And this is one of the things we figured out that a lot of people are not realizing, that when you come into Canada, you lost all the social connections you built for a long time, and then now you have to rebuild it. Okay, so it's a self-discovery journey that you are on. Essentially, it's not about a simple judgment call. It's a mindset game that requires self-awareness. So you need to be self-aware of what is going on here, and then also your response to all of these events is really where your control is. So meaning that a lot of the things that you are going through right now, you don't really have control over them. But what do you have control over? Your response to those events. So when I say events now, I'm talking about rejections. I'm talking about not even getting to hear from anybody when you apply to jobs. All of these are events. And it is not an indication of your capability. It is not an indication of your competence. And this is where a lot of people get it wrong. You know, when they hit these barriers, they start thinking, am I not good enough? And the moment this am I not good enough question starts in your head, it never stops. And this is what leads to what I was saying earlier, which is loss of self-esteem, and also the job search depression that happens afterwards. So I just wanted to point that out quickly and to let you know that what is really going on in the job search here in Canada is what you're seeing here. It's called the hiring pyramid. So the one thing you need to quickly know about the hiring pyramid is that the way that the job seekers are looking is in the opposite direction as to the way that employers are actually filling the roles. So this is where you get the attrition that you are experiencing, because you are basically searching for jobs the wrong way. So if you are somebody who has been applying to jobs and you've never you've been applying to jobs and you've never actually gotten any referrals up to date, all right, you realize that you're doing job search the wrong way, because the way that the employers are actually looking is through people that are inside the company already, who are working for them already. They will ask them, do you know somebody who can fill this role? And all of these other things you see here on word of mouth, professional association, recruitment organization. So here is the kick. Now, when they are actually posting these jobs online, which you know is one of the HR policies, that they should post these jobs online, one thing you should already understand is that they are also going through this process. So if you apply online and you actually get called for an interview, don't be too surprised that there is actually a preferred candidate that you are competing with. So if you get that thing that say, oh, you're a great candidate, however, we found somebody who is a better fit, okay? So that is what they're telling you. They can't come out openly and tell you that they have a candidate already. You're just helping to fill the paperwork. Do you understand what that language means now? You know? So a lot of us are applying to jobs, but we are just helping HR to fill paperwork, right? Because of what is going. This they will also tell you this. Oh, the jobs that are out there, you actually, I mean, the opportunities that are available in the market, 80% of it are hidden. This is what they're saying. Because when they post that thing online, 80% of those jobs that are posted online, they already have some preferred candidate for them. And you are just basically trying to see if you can get in on this thing as a random candidate. And you come in as a random candidate is what it is, because they already have found somebody through their trust network, who somebody has actually been able to vouch for that this person can do it. They've done it in my company, or they've done it as a colleague in some other company, and they already have this person contact. So you are coming in as a random candidate. Let's just put it that way. So if you want to change your job search, You need to rethink this. So I'm not going to belabor that. I'm just going to go here. Our analysis shows referred hires perform better, stay longer, and are quicker to integrate into our teams. So that's Ernst & Young there, vouching that the referral process for job search is the most effective job search. And here is a question for you guys. Why do you think Ernst & Young believe this is the most effective way to fill a role? Based on this comment here, why is it so? So I'll leave it for some time to for you guys to think about that. While you are thinking about that, I actually want to share a survey with you guys. So with this survey, I want to know what you score because it's just kind of an assessment of how you are doing in your job search. So it's a job search roadmap assessment. I've been collecting this data for some time, just so copy. Okay, so I'm gonna share this in the chat box. Okay, so a sec. Yeah, can you see the link for the survey? So while you guys are working at it, probably will also share you some of the results we've been seeing from this. Let me see. Success rate here is 6.7. Yeah, that's with the guys that we have that have filled this survey in the past. So I want you to also fill this. So I think it's about 10 questions. So while you are filling it, let's hear from others. Where's my screen now? Okay. I can't see my presentation. Oh, okay, I think I know what is going on. Let's minimize this. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so you can see my presentation now, right? So what do you think is going on? Why does Ernst & Young believe the best way to actually hire for a role is this method? Anybody figure that out yet? Oh, okay, Luke.
Yeah, because the employer will have some trust in the candidate that are referred to them, that they are fit to do the job.
Why so?
Take for example, in my where I work with Vodafone right now in the UK. They ask us to refer staff, and they give them priority. Anybody you refer will be invited for they will screen their CV, they will invite them for the CV, for the interview. And the person that is referring you, the employer also know that anybody that are being referred to the organization, the person that refer you will guide you through the interview process, will guide you through to the interview process, will tell you the organizational structure, will tell you the culture, will tell you everything that you need to know about the organization. Okay?
Okay. Great. Any other comment? You guys can hear me, right?
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. You are welcome to Vodafone. Okay.
Who else want to speak to the question? Okay, Aki.
Yeah, basically, this is based on observation over the years of consulting and dealing with the business of hiring, and they are able to understand the organizational behavior of hiring based on referrals, and that most people who come in as who headhunting basically. So when you refer somebody, the person is headhunted into your organization, the possibility of the person staying longer in your organization, the loyalty of that person to your organization is actually better than when you just go into the crowd to bring somebody in. So that's the way
So
I
that
see.
connects back to the cultural fit thing, right?
Yes, yes. You're able to fit into their culture and you're able to understand the way they work and all that. And they can also vouch for your experience and vouch for you.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very good comment. And the last one here that I would say is if you hire somebody who was referred by a friend in your company, do you realize that you've just become the friend of those other guys because now you are a friend of a friend, right? So it is easier for you to actually to navigate the socio-cultural landscape of that organization. And that is very valid because it is not just about what you know that will help you to deliver on that job. It's about the people who are also willing to help you to deliver on that job. And because you were referred, somebody is actually there to ensure that you succeed. Because if you didn't succeed, then it won't look good on them, right? So they will be willing to help, to handhold you through, to ensure that you're able to go through that process successfully to transition within that company. So that is the reason why these other employers also feel that, no, they feel, I mean, when it comes to Ernst and Young, they've done their homework. They know that referred hires will perform better because there is somebody that who's referred them, is vouching for them, and then this person is on the, is going to make sure it happens. And then besides that, they are friends that they're going to work with. So here is a quick thing that I would like to show you guys when it comes to the job search roadmap. Because of time, I'm just going to go through this. I normally will do this in the second week. So here is another quotation here. Referred candidates are twice as likely to land an interview as other applicants. Now, this goes back to the hiring pyramid that I showed you earlier. And I think I will share the experience with you of one person that I worked with very early when I started coaching. So this guy is a civil engineer. He worked in the oil and gas sector. And he came to Canada maybe even 2 years after his family is already here. And it looks like, they're not, it's not working. He has to come to Canada. He has no choice. So through a friend, he was referred to me to help him. And I broke this thing down to him that this is the way this thing works. And well, within 1 week, 2 weeks, this guy actually got a job offer. And I asked him later, after he got the job offer, like, what happened? You didn't even tell me, like you already got a job. Like, how did it happen now? He told me that when he heard about the way this thing works, he actually reached out to one of his friends that is working in the EPC in Alberta. Let's just put it that way. And what happened is that one of that guy's supervisor is trying to fill another role in the company. And the supervisor was frustrated, and he actually said it out aloud that he's been trying to fill this role, he's been getting garbage resume. And there and then the friend decided to say, look, I actually have a friend, we work together in Mobile, in Nigeria, and yeah, the guy is a great guy, he could do this. And then he said, send me his resume. Now, within a week, these guys he was here in Manitoba, was flown out to Alberta within that same week. They interviewed him. Within that same week, they gave him a job offer before he came back to Manitoba. And the kick here is this. They told him to go and apply online. Did you hear me? They told him to go and apply online after a job offer. So this goes back to the hiring pyramid that I showed you guys earlier. That a lot of people who are applying are just helping to fill HR paperwork. If you want to change your job search, you want to change your results, you need to totally change how you're going about your job search, right? So that's really just what I want to quickly put out. And this is not only, so the one that I mentioned here is about socializing your job search. It has to go beyond just paperwork. So the other things here is you need to leverage referrals, get a mentor. You need to work with somebody who knows the lay of the land, who knows how these things work. You need to have what we call a SWOT resume, and then seek feedback. Always get feedback as you go through your job search. If you can't get feedback through the HR, who might consider to just be paperwork people, get feedback through a mentor, a coach, who actually are seeing how you are going about what you're doing and being able to provide insights on how you would improve to get the results you want. That is also a valid feedback you can always get on your job search. Don't do it alone. This is why it gets frustrating, because you're just hitting your head against the wall each time you're going through job search and you're not getting a result, because you're the one who's just doing that and you're not getting any feedback. And then upgrade your mindset here. I also say that in the beginning, I say is a mindset game. At the end of the day, it's a mindset game. You need to be able to manage your emotions, and to know that if you get rejection, it is normal. But what you should be doing is, how can you reduce the rejection or the probability that you're going to be rejected? And a lot of the things we already said here are how you're going to go about that. But besides that, also do not personalize these events. These events has nothing to do with you. They are just events. You need to process them as such, right? To know that, okay, this event, how can you avoid such happening in future? How can you get better? How can you improve on your LinkedIn? How can you get better resumes or more effective resumes so that you will get better results? How can you ensure that going forward, when you are applying to jobs, you're not just applying as a random candidate? These things, as difficult as it looks, is about just putting in the effort and examining the results and observing from the results if you need to do things differently. And this is what we call growth mindset, right? So this is where I'll leave the job search roadmap. Actually, next week, we're going to continue on the job search roadmap. Next week, we're going to look at the LinkedIn. So we're going to look at LinkedIn. A lot of people don't understand that LinkedIn is one of those tools out there that will need to be optimized for your job search. So we're going to look at what your LinkedIn is, how you're doing with it, and how can you improve that. So let me go back to the results of the result of the survey. So everybody's done the survey, right? So I guess the total score here, let me see what the total score here. So did you see what I'm saying here on the screen? So 19 people so far have taken this survey. Only 2 people passed this survey. And why do you think this is happening? It's because people have been told over and over again that job search is about paperwork. It's not about paperwork. Paperwork is one of those things, but from my own experience as a small business, I cannot depend on RFPs. I'm sure you guys know what RFP is. RFP is when you RFQs, and it's paperwork basically. You know, or just be writing RFQs and RFP and hoping that that is going to help your business. That's going to help your business generate revenue. No, that's not going to work. As a small business, you network, you connect with people, your potential leads, and all of that towards getting the right, project or the right opportunity. It's the same thing with job search. What they told us in school is totally not going to work in the industry. Paperwork is okay. You can do the paperwork, but that is the minimum. That is the minimum you can do as a job seeker, right? So this is why you see that the assessment, I don't know what each one of you scored, but apparently we can assume that not a lot of things is going well in terms of the way many people are job searching. So you can see this one. How many referrals have you obtained since beginning your job search? So 1 to 2, none. So 8 out of the 19 people, none. So 8 people have gotten. Let's see this one here. Are you currently utilizing a mentor or coach in your job search? No, but considering yes, regular, only 2 people so far. Okay, this one says yes occasionally, which might as well assume that only 2 people are using. How long have you been actively searching for a job search? More than 6 months is this one here. Okay, so 5 out of 19 people. How many interviews have you had so far? One to 2. So 11 out of 19 people had 1 to 2 interviews so far, and this could be from paperwork issues. It could also be from not connecting with your colleagues within the network. So here is also another test that I normally ask people. So how many people here on the call actually, if you have done this, indicate by pressing the thumbs up icon. How many people have actually connected with more than 10 of their colleagues in the Canadian industry? So if you have connected up to 10 people who have the same job title that you desire, can you indicate by a thumbs up? You've connected with them, you had a chat with them is what I'm talking about here within the industry. Okay, so I see Luke hands up. Any other person that I've connected with more than 10 people, I don't mean connect just on LinkedIn, and you've had a chat with them about, how job search is going and things like that. Okay. So we have only 2 hands up, and this is also an indication of how people are job searching, because a lot of us have been told it's through paperwork, right? We have to do much more than paperwork. We have to build our network. We need to connect, we need to reach out, we need to set up Zoom conversations with these colleagues, senior colleagues for the most part, because these are the guys that are actually hiring. These are the hiring managers. It's difficult for some reasons, maybe because of also the way people approach. They are always approaching as somebody who is needy, right? I need a job. They are not approaching as somebody who has value to offer. And this is what makes the difference between if you are going to be successful at connecting with your colleagues and senior colleagues within the industry. So I want to leave that with you as a food for thought. I'm going to quickly move to the last segment here, where we were talking about the socio-cultural nuances. So when it comes to socio-cultural nuances in Canada, I think there are about 5 categories here. There is a professional etiquette. So basically, this is about how we position ourselves, and I think it also connects with what I just said now. So a lot of people will reach out and be pushy when they are trying to connect with professionals, their colleagues in the industry, instead of them to approach as someone who takes interest in the journey of that colleague. They will rather say, oh, I'm here, I'm new in Canada, I have 20 billion years of experience. I need a job. How can you be of help or something like that? I've gotten a lot of this type of messages. People just, they sound to be needy, when they are reaching out. They are not reaching out as professionals, as somebody who has something of value to offer. And, when I started this conversation, I did say that we need to realize that we have a lot of things to offer as people who have experience in the industry. We shouldn't be reaching out to people in the industry as if, oh, I just only care about, the job that I'm looking for right now. You didn't care that this other person also have a need, right? Everybody that is on LinkedIn have some needs. They're not just telling you, but it is your own job to figure out what their need is. And here is the thing. You might think, okay, well, I'm just new in Canada. How do I even know if, or how can I even help because I don't have a job? Here is the thing. There are several ways you can help somebody who has a need as long as you have been able to find out what their need is. And this is as simple sometimes as referring them to a network who might be able to provide some information regarding the things that they need. So you don't have to be the person that actually help, but can you help connect them to resources? So there's a colleague, you reach out and then you say, oh, you saw their profile and you see that they're doing well maybe in Canada. However, you notice that they had certifications or they don't have certification. You can then just post a question. Do you think I need to have certification in order for me to get a first job here in Canada? Now, this question is a probing question and it is open-ended, right? And this will be something that will take you to the next level of conversation with this person. This is how you connect with people. It's not about be sounding needy and be pushy and all of those things, which I know a lot of people do on LinkedIn. So we need to address that aspect. The other aspect is also timeliness, making sure that we value or we respect the time of others. So if you connect with this person and you say you're only going to engage them with just for just about 30 minutes, make sure it doesn't go beyond 30 minutes, meaning that you respect their time, right? And a lot of people sometimes will, let me stop sharing my screen here. Okay, so I can leave that. I think what I just need to do is to come back here. Okay. So I was talking about timeliness. So we need to respect other people's time. There's also another one that I want to talk about that relates to interviews. So when you go to interviews, take the time to write a thank you card, right? Thank the organization or the hiring managers, or even use that opportunity to talk about something you probably were not able to address during the interview. Now you can have that time to further elaborate on that stuff when you send the thank you note. All right, but the whole point here is that to have some level of professional etiquette when we're going through job search. I don't know if anybody has anything to add to that. Any comment regarding the professional etiquette, timeliness, making sure you're reaching out with your value proposition rather than being needy when you're trying to connect? I can go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make a contribution, rather ask a question about the networking part of it, and which to me is one of the most difficult parts because like you said, you have severed your relationship back home and you're here starting out from ground zero, building a network of people. And it's always very difficult for you to actually meet people here, to be honest. And most of the time on LinkedIn, because social media has now become an avenue or a platform through which various messages come, some people might not be disposed to, not that they're not disposed, but just based on precedents, might not be disposed to actually helping you out to mentor you or anything if you reach out to them on social media. You understand? Only very few of them actually, only very few on, like for example, before I met you, I did meet someone who was very, very helpful. But unfortunately, his time and my time didn't align together. And just to show you that gap between the time I met the guy and I met you was a long time. So it's not always easy. Is there any other way you can propose where we can meet these so-called mentors? Maybe there are more avenues like this where, or job forums where we can actually reach out to them or walk up to them and get to know them.
So yeah, definitely there are actually a lot of opportunities when it comes to meeting colleagues or meeting senior professionals. So I will talk about one or two of them. Just on, never mind my looking back and forth. I just want to make sure that I'm still talking here on LinkedIn because I'm streaming. So when it comes to other opportunities to meet people, I use this word. I say every event is a job fair. Every event is a job fair. And what do I mean? Now, you realize that when you are reaching out to people on LinkedIn, you're not really connecting face to face, right? Like it's not you are having this conversation with people. So you need to identify events where those people you are targeting, where they hang out, right? So this is what I mean. If you are a project manager or you are targeting project managers to build relationship and network, go to PMI events. And not only go to PMI event, actually volunteer. So volunteering don't have to be really, committing to do a particular and to serve in a particular position. It could even be just a greeter. You just participating at that on that day, particular day, to be a greeter where people that are coming in, you are the one welcoming them for that event. And you bet in that type of a scenario, everybody there are valid leads for connections. And in that way, you're also able to have a chat, you're able to make face-to-face connection, which is much more easier than just writing somebody on LinkedIn who hasn't known you from nowhere, right? So this is one of the valid ways you can do this. So volunteering, going to events will be one of the ways. And I was talking to one of the guys I'm working with right now. He's a construction into project management in construction. And things like we had a discussion around opportunities like this. Going to the construction association will be one of those. They have a lot of workshops, training events. Some of them are even free. And then this is an opportunity for you to be able to then connect with all these guys. Another one is there is also a particular group, I've forgotten what they call them right now. Their name used to skip me. So it's a place where you can do like conversations, Toastmasters. So if there is a Toastmaster in your community, attend those Toastmasters because you're going to meet these guys there. And not only that, you're also going to be able to improve on how you do in public speaking. So that's also another avenue. Companies that you are targeting. So I also encourage people to target specific companies. Don't just be spreading your energy all over the place. Target some specific companies you really want to work with. Right? Now, follow them on LinkedIn. It is possible that they will have some open houses. Is it what they call it? Yeah, open house. They will have some open house sessions. attend those open house sessions. This is really an opportunity for you then to be able to connect with the guys that are hiring. And I've heard somebody say something relating to give a testimony about that, where I think it was Skip the Dishes had an open house in different cities, and he attended one of those, and he was able to meet one of the founders of Skip the Dishes, and he was interviewed after that event, and that's how he got a job with them. So these are the more the opportunities that could really get you to get your foot in the door, aside from just on staying on LinkedIn. Staying on LinkedIn is good, it has its own purpose, but then making sure you go to these events will go a long way. So any other comment? Luke?
Thank you very much. In case I may drop this call anytime because I'm at work. I'm working from home. I'm online. Okay. All right. In case the call came in.
Oh, okay.
So yes. What I've been able to do is, you see, the way I met you, I search for association in Manitoba. That was how I stumbled until we met. And even when we were talking, when you said, go add me on LinkedIn, I said, I've done that already. But unfortunately, I added the wrong person with the same name with yours. And what I usually do is that I go on LinkedIn, I search for a procurement guys in Canada, then I filter it again to Manitoba. So everybody that I see that are procurement guys in Manitoba, I added them on LinkedIn. So majority of them, in fact, 90% of them accepted my request, and they added me. The moment they added me, what I do is that I thank them for adding me to their connection. Then I go straight to check their profile, look at their profile. Most of them were in the same association, because I search for some association on some group, supply chain group in LinkedIn. So all those groups, I make sure I join all of them. So once they see that I'm one of those groups, even because I also do the same thing. If I see anybody that try to add me, I check. If once it says that you and this person share the same group, I will just say yes. So once I just say yes, like on the WhatsApp group, somebody tried to, was telling you guys that he has completed a milestone on supply chain. This supply chain association in Canada. So the minute I just saw congratulations, people are just telling that person congratulations. What I did was to go back and search for her on LinkedIn. I discovered that I've already added her on LinkedIn, because I added everybody most people in this association, in this supply chain. So I now chatted with her, tell her that supply chain, SCMSP, this supply chain, I need some guidance. Although I've read some things about it, but I just want to hear from her to guide me through give me some clue on how to get diploma in that field. So that was what I did. And since then, we've been talking, and she's been very helpful. So those are part of just one of them. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Yeah, like that.
Hello, my name is Luke. You're welcome to Vodafone.
Okay, so thanks, Luke, for sharing. Yeah, so definitely, and that reminds me of something on LinkedIn, which I actually did like a video on YouTube about this. So there is something we call mutual rapport. Okay, mutual rapport. So this is another way to get better at connecting with people on LinkedIn. When we say mutual rapport, you and this person have something in common. So when you go on LinkedIn and you go to your network, you will see that you have first degree, second degree, third degree, fourth degree connections, right, on LinkedIn. But if you really select the second degree connection, you would realize that you have a large number of people within your network that you are not really reaching out to. But the point here is this, is you need to filter down to people who have something in common with you, and that will actually increase your chances. So this is more like you filter down to people who attended the same university as you, who are here in Canada. You've worked in some companies before in your home country. When you go to this network on LinkedIn, filter down to people who have worked in the same company as you worked in your home country, but they're now in Canada. These people, you have mutual rapport with them, and they are most likely to connect with you and to be willing to help than just randomly reaching out to people on LinkedIn who don't have something in common with you. That will be more difficult, but I'm just saying this is also another way to go about connecting with people that will lead you to better chances of connecting in Canada. So I'm going to leave that for now. The next one I will go to is personal spaces and boundaries. Is a thing in Canada, right? I don't know if you guys have noticed that. If you, like if you see somebody new or a stranger or somebody at a network, if you move too close, they be like, "Who is that?" Right? Because you've sort of moved into their personal space, and you probably haven't watched out for this, because I don't think you guys are confirming that you've experienced this before. The point is that there is a arm's length radius within which you shouldn't intrude when you are trying to talk to somebody or when you are trying to engage somebody. So anything beyond your arm's length, you have crossed into that person's personal space. Anybody experienced that before? No? Okay, so you should know that now. There's always that personal space that you don't want to intrude into. So people have those type of boundaries, even in terms of their time, how you respect their time. So Dara, you were the one saying, somebody said, "Oh, I have a, I have, I have an interview." Don't, right? Now, it also goes to this same issue about respecting the person's time, because that's a personal time. They probably have gotten like an excuse from work that they are going to attend an interview, and they're very open about it, and then they don't want anybody now bringing their own issues that gets to take some of those time that they have set aside for the interview that they have. So there is that in Canada as well. Then it's also the one that is very sensitive, which is called diversity and inclusion, right? So diversity and inclusion, we know it's really something about making sure that you're respecting other people's culture, or even their preferences when it comes to sexuality and things like this. And if you are not somebody who is already aware of these situations, some people might really get into trouble, when it comes to this. There's also another interesting one I want to share with you, which also has to do with the time thing. Like you don't want to, you want to respect people's time. So here, this is very when it comes to this, you would think it's this person who experienced this issue um, didn't really mean to say something that will hurt this person or that will lead into what happened to them eventually. So, there's hierarchy in the culture you're coming from. Okay. So, but when it comes to Canada, there's three, Aki, are you still here with us? So when it comes to Canada, right? There is so when it comes to Canada, there is really no hierarchy per se, but it doesn't mean that you should not respect or accord a superior person the type of respect they should be accorded. So this person was seeing a supervisor that it was actually cleaning, right? So like actually a manager, and it happens here in Canada. You could have your manager that is actually sweeping the floor. But if you saw that in your home country, you'd be like, "Ah, this is strange, right?" And then this person now was asking the manager, "Oh, is there no any other person to sweep here? Why is it that you are the one that is sweeping?" Now that's the comment that that person made, right? What happened next is that this person was actually laid off. Yeah, because again, it's about not respecting, because the statement that the person made couldn't have been taken, maybe might have been interpreted, or maybe the person was responding to a culture shock, and that's what made them to say that type of a thing, because they could have seen it differently, that okay, well, this is this person's time that is working, is busy working, and then you are coming, you want to come and take whatever broom or whatever they are using to do cleaning or whatever from them. Does it now mean that you are not busy? Is that what you're saying? That you don't have any other job that you're doing that you're supposed to be doing right now, and then you are coming to come and take broom from the manager who is busy doing his own work? You see where that issue is coming in now? So because if you saw this from, maybe this happened to you, you'll be surprised that I didn't do anything bad for me to have been punished or penalized for saying that, or for trying to help the manager sweep. So all of these things also matter. And then the last one that I will talk about is the effective communication. So when it comes to effective communication, there are a lot of things. There is accent, there is clarity, there is also reading communication. Sometimes we tend to write big grammars, okay, maybe because we have this British English background. And then when you're communicating, it just so happens that the people you are communicating to, or that you're writing this stuff to, they can't really pick them together, because there's so many big words that they can't really comprehend. So in this particular scenario, you need to be writing for the reader, not for you. So we can't take this artistic approach to communication when we're trying to get a message across, right? Because when we talk about communication, it's about passing a message, and then there is interpretation of that message, and then there is feedback. But if you write too many big words that they have to go and be getting a dictionary to understand what you're saying, there's a problem, because that person cannot really decode what you're saying. And then there are other issues when it comes to communication. A lot of the times it's really about how you said it, or how you approached it than what you actually said. So these are some of the nuances when it comes to communication here in Canada. A lot of the time it's really about your body language. Are you that person who doesn't smile? In fact, you would notice also that in Canada here, a lot of people smile. And you might be wondering, isn't this strange? Somebody just saw me on the road and then smiled. And you're wondering, this looks creepy, right? Because you're coming from a culture that doesn't see, socio-cultural engagement at that level. It's really like a cue to show that you are a friendly person. Because when you really look at Canada, when it comes to social interaction, it's a different way entirely from the way it is back home. Back home, you can see a stranger and just talk and do whatever, and even encroach into their personal space without them having an issue. But here it's totally different. Here, even if that person has known you, is your friend and everything, you can't just barge into their personal space. Just so you know, right? So all these type of things, we need to be paying attention to them, and to see how we can adapt. When it comes to effective communication, there is the accent aspects of it. So the accents meaning the way we say things. People might not hear it. I think it was Emmanuel that was saying that. You might think that you have PhD in English, and you've been schooled right from the primary school to universities in English. It doesn't mean that they will hear what you're saying, even though you are speaking English. The reason is because of accents. And it's not to say that accent is not good. It's just that everybody have accents that they are used to. So the accents they are used to in Canada is different from the accents that you are using when you are speaking. And so when the issue then here is how do we communicate even with our accents so that they can still hear what we're saying? I think that is really the challenge. So we provide support in this area as well. So we have these communication workshops that we conducted. I mean that we conduct. We had a couple already in the year. There's going to be another one coming up in May, and hopefully this is something that you guys also will try to make use of that resource. We have a communication consultant that we work with that I mentioned earlier. Clearly speaking, Gloria Pierre. She's the one that will conduct this, and she has years of experience. She's also an immigrant herself, and she's been doing this for organizations in different capacities. So they were going to have that in May. So what I want to do now is I want to know if there are questions that have come up having talked about these socio-cultural nuances when it comes to Canada, or if there's anything you want to add to that. But most importantly, I'll be interested in questions. Yeah, if you want to ask questions, you can just indicate. No questions? Luke, what's your question? Luke is there, right? I think you have your hands raised up. Dara, you want to talk too?
Yeah, I want to talk.
Okay, go ahead. We'll take a look after.
Okay, so I was just going to ask if you know about there's this particular thing they usually request for whenever I see a job posting, especially here in Ottawa. I don't know if you see it in other places, but they ask for security clearance
Oh,
for
okay, security clearance.
most
Okay.
government jobs. In fact, most of the jobs
Yeah.
posting I see always ask if you're eligible for security clearance.
Yeah, so if you're applying to federal government jobs, you will need security clearance.
Yeah, that's most of the jobs you can get here in Ottawa because it's mostly
Really?
government.
In Ottawa, right?
Yeah, mostly government companies.
Yeah, so definitely to get security clearance, you have to be a citizen.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
And
if
to
you
be a
are still a
citizen, you
PR,
need to be here for a number
yeah,
of.
more than 3 years as a PR before you can get a citizenship for federal government roles. However, for provincial roles, I don't think they ask for security clearance unless it's a very sensitive industry, like maybe the mint, for example. The one printing money, right? Definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's also federal actually. So they will ask for security clearance in that sense. Any type of industry that it deals with sensitive information like the defense and all these type of areas. They will ask for security clearance. Emmanuel had a question.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. A great session so far. I just wanted to ask, I don't know if you know about this program called FIN, FIN for newcomers. I think it's run by IRCC.
Okay.
I think they integrate immigrants into federal and provincial parastatals in certain field, and I think because actually I got to know of it lately, and I've keyed in. I have a virtual session in, I think, in 2 weeks. You have to go through
As a PR?
yes, as a PR, yes. Actually, I came in as a PR, no, not a student actually. So,
Okay.
yeah. So you have to enroll in a governmental organization that would like make you put out your application for the internship program, and
Okay.
the goal is to absorb those who do well at the end of the program into federal government and provincial government parastatal.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard about that. Yeah, definitely. There are resources like that. I mean, maybe it's something that you can look into, but I suppose that this is targeting people who are interns, right? Than people who are actually working in full-time role. Yeah, so anyone who might be interested in that can really look into it. Uh, for those who would like to engage with me later, you can click on that link here. You have the link in the chat box. I believe everybody can see that. You can use that to schedule 15 minutes chat with me. Maybe where we can speak specifically to your own needs when it comes to job search or integration here in Canada. So you can use that link to do that. Let me see. I think I also mentioned earlier about the communication workshop that is happening in May. So I'm going to share that as well. Just give me a second here. Any other question aside from the ones that we talked about so far? So for those who are into supply chain that are interested in acquiring skills in SAP, our SAP session starts April 27th. We have one going on currently, which will start in some few minutes. We're going to start the SAP session, and it's going to end April 21st, and the next one will start April 27th. So I'm going to share that one as well. So if you are interested in any of these, or you'd like to talk more about your career, coaching, support, or volunteering, you can you know you can also use that link to schedule a chat with me.
I was going to ask one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
When you do an interview, do you have any idea how you can tell that you know you have done well? Because these hiring managers are usually always smiling, and you think, oh, I did great, and
Yeah, yeah,
and
I can imagine. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Here is also that also goes to another culture that I actually skipped that I didn't talk about. So, it's called the positive wrapping in
mm,
Canada. Positive wrapping. So it's possible that you'll be sacked next week, right? And your manager is still all smiles, still telling you about the great things you are doing.
oh,
That's called positive wrapping. So basically, they will still want to talk about the good things you are doing, but it doesn't mean that you're doing great. So I guess in an interview scenario, when that plays out, which is expected that, yeah, because it's supposed to be a conversation, it's supposed to be, it's not a place where we're supposed to judge you, about how you have done in the interview. It's a place where we're having a conversation. Rather than me focus on, you know, their comment about how I've done at an interview or trying to know how well I've done at an interview, I think what I would do is try to see how I can, you know, convince them that I am the right candidate for the job. Because guess what? They will have other candidates at the interview and they have to smile. You know, now the Canadian culture, you have to smile. Um, so you are the one who then still needs to convince them beyond a doubt that you're the right candidate. Um, Given all said and done, yeah, they like you, they like your resume, and you know what I said earlier. There's a 80% of the time there's a preferred candidate. So regardless that you have all the smiles, you have all the great feedback during the interview that, oh yeah, in fact, when do you want to start? I've heard some people, who they thought that they already got the job and they were ghosted. It was like, they were so certain that they got this job,
Yeah.
but call them next week and say, oh, you were saying you were gonna call me in a week's time, or you have the result in a week's time, and then you won't hear nothing from them anymore. So this is a situation that I always tell people, that don't let it look as if you are the one that something is wrong with. It just didn't work out. Maybe they had 80% of the time, like I said, always assume that they have a preferred candidate. So how can you convince them that you are better than the preferred candidate? That should be what is on your mind. That is really what I will advise you to do. Assume that there is a preferred candidate. And your own job now is, how do you convince them beyond a doubt that you're better than that preferred candidate? Because I've heard a lot of it. Oh, there was a guy who, I think he's in Alberta, and then this is a company that he's actually worked for back home, the same company. And he went all the way even to the vice president for interview, like 4 different interviews. And the vice president was like, you got this job, literally, like it as if he got the job. And then 2 weeks passed, 4 weeks passed, and it's never heard from them till today. So again, there is almost always a preferred candidate. So, and once you have at the back of your mind, you did your best, just let it be. And just, if possible, you can keep working on the relationship with them, just connect with them on LinkedIn and all of that, and then follow them, and just kind of keep the relationship going. Aside from that, I don't think there's anything you could do aside from that. Maybe if another opportunity comes up in future and you're really on their mind, yeah, maybe they could call you for that. But as far as them smiling and all positive about your engagement and interaction, it means nothing. So, and the moment you have that in the back of your mind, then you don't raise your hope too much, because this is really what relates to what we're talking about earlier. And then your brain start telling you something is wrong with you, you're not good enough, and all that. It's not you. It's just an event. So that's really what I would say about that. Any other comment?
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay. So that's what I have for you guys, but I think you might get a survey after this session, and help fill it. And so if there's any other way we can do better than what we're doing at the moment, don't hesitate to provide those suggestions. I've shared some links here, some links on how you can, if you're interested in SAP MM, public speaking, or if you want to have a chat with me so that we can look into your own specific situation, right? And then we can talk more about that. So that's all I have for you today. Next week, like I said, we're going to be looking at LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is connected with some of the things we talked about today. So I'll be able to show you during the session, some of the things that you can do differently on LinkedIn, especially for job search optimization and also for networking purposes. Okay. So So connect with me on LinkedIn. I think I shared my LinkedIn. Everybody connect with each other. You also try to take the conversation further than here. See what opportunities, what collaboration, what thing can happen with people that you're able to connect with here. I will leave this chat box for some time, so if there's any link of maybe the guys you want to connect with and other stuff, so I'll leave it here for some time so that you can have access to all those information. So you guys, I'll be. I think even my connection is is behaving, eh? So see you guys next week. And bye for now.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.